Hello, and welcome to Why I Love Warhammer, the series where I go on to an unscripted ramble about why I love something in this setting, in this hobby, in this world. Today's episode is The Emperor's Children. At time of recording, 20th of November 2023, this is the only the only Chaos army that is dedicated to one specific Chaos god that doesn't have its own codex, and at time of recording, I'm really hoping that changes because the Emperor's Children are brilliant. From a lore perspective, I enjoy them because A, Slaanesh is underrated. There's so much more to Slaanesh than a lot of the stereotypes around it. It's hedonism, it's excess, it's all of the seven deadly sins, not just the one that allows you to have the most interesting sculpts, shall we say? Wink, wink. It's a really interesting god, really interesting faction, and also I really enjoy the fact that there are characters to them that I think make a lot of sense, and I enjoy the fact that with the Emperor's Children, they fell to chaos but kept the name, kind of partially out of preservation, partially out of spite, which I really enjoy. I love that level of pettiness. And so yeah, their Primarch Fulgrim being obsessed with perfection. He had to be the best swordsman possible. He had to be the most beautiful, have the most perfect legion. Also, I love purple as a colour, and they use purple. I'd love to just do purple Marines. Glorious. First model I've got on the slides here is Lucius the Eternal. This is an older model of him. I find this guy terrifying and creepy. That barbed whip skeeves me out in the best way. Every time I say something skeeves me out when it comes to this game, this setting, that is a compliment to the model. In my view, it means they've done it, that they've set their objective and they have achieved that objective if it skeeves me out. If it skeeves me out and that didn't seem to be the intended purpose, that would be different. But with 40k, I never doubt the intended purpose is anything other than to skeeve people out. So, yeah, and so Lucius the Eternal has this blade, and if he is slain, he comes back in the body of whoever did the slaying, and that face joins the armor, and that's what all of these faces are on the armor here. It's horrifying, and again, a legion obsessed with perfection. Look at him; he looks like Voldemort with a nose. It's scary. He'll cut up. I know I keep making references to other media here. It's like Victor Zsasz in Batman comics. Voldemort meets Victor Zsasz. He's a horrifying model in all the best ways, and it's just glorious. I love that kind of pseudo cursed immortality. It's always a fun trope. Lucius the Eternal embodies that really well. Okay, I think this is kind of Forge World Emperor's Children, kind of a high up model. Again, I think the purple armor looks magnificent. I love the fact that they're duelists, that kind of melee focused in. But like the difference between like an elegant sword play and hacking stuff with an axe. And don't get me wrong, I prefer axes. I have an axe on that wall. I have an axe in my bedroom. But the elegant swordplay is something that's always really fun to witness and to imagine, and the Emperor's Children embody that so well. Purple armor looks pretty as well. Fabius Bile, again, cool looking model. I love these kind of tools coming out of his backpack. He walks with that cane, which just looks really badass to me. He's a creepy guy in the lore. He's kind of extracting genetic material. suggestion is that between him and Belisarius Cawl of the Adeptus Mechanicus, they've probably got the gene seed of all the Primarchs, so they could recreate them. But I just love the fact that he's there, and I love what he does, and it's a cool looking model. The Noise Marine. If the Emperor's Children get the full codex that they deserve, I want these guys to come in boxes of 10. All boxes of 5 where each one is a band. Like, singer, guitarist, drummer, bassist, guitar, drummer, bassist, and keyboard player. Just to form the full punk rock band in every box of 5 or every box of 10. I got myself one of these models. I just think they're amazing. This guitar's also a gun. Glorious. I love the punk rock sculpt, and I love the idea that the sound is the weapon. And I think it's an amazing model. It's so beautiful, and I love what it... Not just that it gets to be in this range, but what it represents for the range. Okay, Fulgrim. If anyone's watched the live-action version of One Piece, the guy they get to play, I think his name's Helmeppo, Kobe's friend. If they ever did a live-action 40k, I want that guy playing Fulgrim. He is so fun a character. He's obsessed with perfection. He's got this sword that kind of talks to him. He's decadent, and yeah, of course he fell to chaos, because Slaanesh can promise everything you like to the extreme. And yeah, it's just a really fun model. And I don't know where I got the impression, but I always imagined that in demon form he'd be kind of snake-like. So when they announced this Fulgrim Transfigured, Fulgrim Ascended, I was so happy. It was exactly what I wanted this Fulgrim to look like. Snake-like body, kept the face, kept the hair being long, but added the wings, swords and all the arms. It's such a glorious model. It's a centerpiece if I ever saw one. And I only hope that if they bring Fulgrim to 40k, he can at least resemble this, because in my view, this is perfect. Which, of course, is what the Emperor's Children are all about. They're about being perfect. So yeah, so much respect for this model. It's worth noting that because they don't have their own codex or range at the point of recording, most of this stuff is from the Horus Heresy game. So it's a lot of characters whose names I'm not so familiar with, but just what they represent. Like this guy, the backpack looks like an organ. It's got Emperor Aquila here. It's standing on remains of an Iron Hands dreadnought. It's a glorious piece. I love the Forge World character models because I do love the diorama bases. I mean, they're beautiful models anyway. Like, look at this guy, the kind of this determined scowl, the hair going off to one side. It's going to rest him in balls. He's wielding a warhammer. Again, love hammers as a weapon. And it's just, and there's so much character to him standing on the remains of, like I say, what looks like an Iron Hands dreadnought. So characterful, so brilliant. Again, similar thing. Sword with the Emperor's Aquila still on it. It's a beautiful looking blade, and he's just standing so triumphantly. He's leading his faction, and he's about to take out his sword and yell charge as he charges. Glorious model. The Emperor's Children range are so brilliant that they need to be expanded. Again, I think this one's Legion Praetor and Terminator armor. Still chunky, but still so sleek. Like that kind of pattern on the helmet that looks a little bit like a bird's beak, like to resemble that, the eagle of the Imperium, but he's still the Emperor's Children. They're still fallen to chaos. Beautiful purple armor, the gold trim. Like even the kind of chunky, ponder down the battlefield kind of models, they're still beautiful. The Emperor's Children really achieve that goal of being perfect, in my view, because they are such phenomenal models, such brilliant sculpts. Again, same here. Look at this cloak, man. Look at this thing. I'm not going to talk about the mouth. I do find that a bit weird. But just, it's such cool armor and this kind of staff with the blade on it. I just think that looks amazing. This alternate shoulder pad that's silver with the, with that gold trim. Chef's kiss, beautiful. Emperor's Children, units. They've got guns. They've got the blades. Just really what you want them to be. They're just, yeah, this is what they should be. Again, same here, but these guys have the sound weapons. It's kind of starting to become more hedonistic. And again, this guy's face says it all. It's becoming a bit more mutated. They're falling further and further and further. Again, these guys kind of command units. They've still got everything going for them. Purple armor. Oh, I love purple armor. Okay, this bike again, I just think it looks really cool. One thing I love with the Heresy is that it's often painted up in a different style and it's a bit more grimy, I guess. And I think that is embodied really well here, that it's flying low and, dirt's getting kicked up onto it. So, yeah, I think that's just embodied really well with this model. Okay, final one. They don't sell a model of Rhylonor. But it's worth talking about because Rhylonor was a dreadnought to the Emperor's children, a character for the Emperor's children who didn't fall to chaos, and I think that represents something really interesting. That not everyone from every legion fell the way the rest of the legion did, and so Rhylonor didn't fall to chaos, but he's still part of the Emperor's children. In much the same way that the Dark Angels, some fell, some didn't. Rhylonor didn't fall, and I think that's really important because it's often easy to see these legions as being singular masses of just same entities. But no, each one is an individual. Each one is a character in themselves. Each one, every Marine is the hero of their own story. And I feel like Rhylonor is important in that regard as well, to remind us that there was still freedom of choice to an extent. Fulgrim fell, Angron fell, Horus fell, Typhus fell, Ahriman fell, Rhylonor didn't. And that is brilliant storytelling to me. So yeah, Emperor's Children, glorious faction. I love me some Purple Space Marines, brilliant characters, so many beautiful sculpts, really captures the essence of the Legion, and it has Rhylonor, in my view, one of the most important characters from a storytelling perspective in the world of the Horus Heresy, in the world of Warhammer 40,000. That's the end of the video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to give this a share, that would be amazing. If you want to give it a like and subscribe, brilliant too. If you want to leave a comment, that highly encouraged as well. Comment question of the day is, which faction, in your opinion, has the most beautiful sculpts? The most beautiful sculpts in your opinion. Obviously, I feel like I've made it pretty obvious that the Emperor's Children have the beautiful sculpts in my opinion. What's yours? Got a playlist for the whole of this 40k faction focus Why I Love series. If you want to, peruse any of the other factions I've done so far, that'd be brilliant. I've got a link to a Patreon in the description, which if you wanted to throw me a couple of quid a month, that would be brilliant as well. With that, I hope you have a really good day, and I'll see you next time.